Go.
All right, so class, we're going to continue our lesson on talking about how to write an equation of a line. This is section 4.2, part 1. And the objective is to write an equation of the line, which is y equals mx plus b. Whenever you see write an equation of a line, that's what it's talking about. Given its slope, which is the m, and a point on a line. Any point. This could be any number. It could be like a 3 and a 5. It could be any number that's on a line. So here would be an example. This is 1 point on this line. It's 2 and 2, and the slope would be 1 and 1. And so it's saying to look at this point and this slope and to somehow write it into this y equals mx plus b format. So let's do a quick review. The slope formula, the definition of slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, and that's going to equal your slope, right? But notice what happens. Like if I wanted to change the way this looks, I could do that by multiplying this side, if I want to get rid of the fraction, by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. As long as I multiply the other side by a x sub 2 minus x sub 1. These would cancel out, and I'd have a y2 minus y1 equals m times x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And that would somewhat resemble something you're familiar with. Y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form. And this is actually what we want to do, is to have this. So let's look at it with actual numbers now. The slope has been already given to us, that it's a half. And we're told that these are the points that we need. So if I were to plug that in, if I were to have a y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equaling your slope, which we're told is here, then where would I put these? Well, this is an x and this is a y. So instead of a y2, I'll put a 3, because the y is 3, minus y1. But I'm not going to write y1, because there's not two y's anymore. There's only one y, so why put 1 or 2? I'll just write a y. Over x2, well, if we look up here, the x is a 2, minus x, and we already know the slope is 1/2. So all I would need to do is multiply, just like we did in this problem here, how we multiplied by the denominator. I'll come over here and I'll multiply by the denominator. A 2 minus x, the quantity of 2 minus x. Then I'll do the same thing to this side, if you can see it, a 2 minus x. That cancels out the denominator here. What do we bring down? A 3 minus y equals, and on this side, a half times 2 minus x. Now, why are we doing all this crazy amount of work? What's the whole point of this? It's not to be mean. Remember our objective. It says if we're given the slope and we're given a point, we want to turn it into y equals mx plus b. So, in this case, we started off with a slope. We were given a point. Remember, that's kind of like a point on a line, right? And so, when we're given these two things, we want to turn it into that y equals mx plus b. And these steps help us do that, because look how close we are to writing this into y equals mx plus b. It's really just 2 moves away. Okay? I'll do it really quick, just to show you. So all I have to do is distribute, bring these down. Half of 2 is 1. And half of a negative x is a negative half x. And then I would take away 3 from both sides. Negative y equals negative 2 minus half x. Oh, actually, in this one I'd have to multiply both sides by negative 1 and then switch it. This one's a little more complicated, but I'll just do it real quick. Cool. We have it in y equals mx plus b. Now I want to show you, like they always say, wait, there's more. There's actually a shortcut to all this. There's a way you can do it much faster, so let me show you that really quick. And the better way is right here. It's called using, instead of doing all these steps of multiplying by the denominator and moving things around, you can use what's called the point-slope formula. You'll need to memorize this point-slope formula. It's a shortcut. It's way easier than doing all this movement that I just did, okay? And then once you use the point slope formula, it's so quick. You just use the point slope form, you substitute, multiply, you get the answer fast. It's way, way faster. So the point slope form is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x1. Okay? And so if you're given a point, I'll just choose one randomly, 0 and 3, and you're given an m, I'll say it's 2. You substitute those values in, and you have the answer. So y minus y1, well, I'm getting my y1 from here, so y minus 3 equals m, well, I'm told that the m is 2 times x, but instead of an x1, I have to look over here and see what that x would be, 0. And watch how fast this is. Again, I'm going back to these 3 steps. I can get the answer so quickly. First, I use the point slope form. Second, I'm only going to substitute, which I already did. Third, I just multiply. It's like so quick. So y minus 3 equals 2x, and then a 2 times negative 0 is just nothing. And then just add a 3 to both sides. And then you have the answer. Y equals 2x plus 3.